Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News here on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. I am Kejan Haynes. The bodies of two Hispanic women were found in a shallow grave at Buccal Road in Chaguanas late on Wednesday night. Acting on information given to them, around 11:30 p.m., National Special Operations Unit officers went to Warren Road where they saw disturbed soil about 42 feet into grassy terrain and began digging. They uncovered the buried bodies of two women. Officers cordoned off the area and called in the K9 unit and other support teams, and by 3:30 a.m. the district medical officer had pronounced both women dead. Days after police released one of two suspects held in relation to the attempted murder of a prisons officer, the second suspect has died. According to both police and prison sources, Jesse Belfon, who was thrown out of the getaway car after the shooting, died early this morning. Belfon is believed to have been the shooter. Police are searching for a third suspect, whom they have already identified. The man was seen walking away calmly after the getaway car crashed. On Tuesday, one of the suspects was released as there was insufficient evidence to keep him in custody. According to police, prison officer Govindra Balgobin was ambushed and shot by men who pulled alongside him on Orange Grove Road around 8:25 on June 20th. Police are working on the theory that the attack was linked to an incident at the Port of Spain prison. Officials said a female relative of an inmate at the maximum security prison where Balgobin was stationed had an altercation with an officer and her visit was cancelled. Prison officials say Balgobin remains warded in a serious condition as he awaits a hip replacement surgery as a result of multiple fractures. A 44-year-old woman has died at hospital days after receiving treatment for burns she sustained when a gas tank exploded at her Claxton Bay home last week. Police said Raquel Babwa and her husband Adish Harry were at their Mount Pleasant Road home last Thursday when the gas tank exploded. They were taken to the San Fernando General Hospital where Harry was treated and discharged after 2 days. However, Babwa's injuries were more severe as she sustained burns across 60% of her body. She died just before 2 a.m. on Tuesday. Couva Police visited the couple's home and are viewing footage of the incident as part of their inquiries. A 25-year-old man died after falling from scaffolding while working in a Charlieville warehouse on Wednesday morning. Police say Taradath Poplo was cleaning the warehouse at Akalu Trace at around 10 a.m. when the scaffolding collapsed. He jumped from the falling structure but was fatally injured. And police are investigating the robbery at DHL's El Socorro building on Wednesday night. Police say two men walked onto the Chanka Trace compound around 10:30 p.m. and tied up the security guard. The men then walked behind the building to the loading bay where they ordered 4 workers to lie on the ground as they tied them up. The bandits frisked the employees, stole their cell phones and cash before searching the loading bay for valuables before escaping. Police say one of the workers managed to free himself and called for help. Meanwhile, community activist Pastor Clive Doughton is advocating for more social services for students who display deviant behavior. Doughton agrees that they should be held legally responsible. He adds that parents should also be made to account for their children's behavior. Now, this comes after 5 female students were charged in connection with the assault of a student of a Holy Faith convent in Couva. He adds that while the education ministry provides some support services, the needs have increased over the years.
To look at the issue of strengthening the student support services. When that was started, you might have had 5,000 tron being suspended. Now you have 21,000 tron being suspended. I don't see any structure anywhere to deal with that number of people effectively.
Now, a group of female students of the Southeast Port of Spain Secondary School was suspended after brutally attacking another student. No criminal charges have been laid against them following that incident. Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar says students caught assaulting other students, teachers and principals will be expelled, and students caught in videos cheering and egging on the violence will be suspended. She urged all principals, teachers and students to make reports to the police. And with the rainy season already triggering flood events across the country, the government is racing against time to revolutionize its disaster response, introducing faster digital assessments, ramping up manpower, and deploying 90,000 additional sandbags to safeguard vulnerable communities. In a high-level emergency meeting held yesterday at Kent House in Marval, Minister of Rural Development and Local Government Khadija Amin met with disaster coordinators from all 14 regional corporations to review response failures, identify gaps, and demand a more efficient and compassionate system for flood-hit citizens.
Currently, all the disaster units have a disaster manager and 2 field officers per corporation. In my view, that is not enough in terms of personnel. They have agreed and they have already engaged people from other units within the corporation who volunteer in disaster management. So they may be working in the roads department or the public health department.
And as we noted earlier, the ministry is significantly expanding sandbag distribution with an additional 90,000 filled sandbags being made available to the public on top of the usual supply. She reminds in flood-prone areas not to wait until disaster is at their doorstep.
There are people who come and request empty sandbags and go and do their own thing with it. And I'm reminding all regional corporations that the bags are to be issued filled with sand. And therefore, members of the public, please desist from utilizing our sandbags, which, however, there's a cost attached. Don't use our sandbags for chicken feed and rubbish.
With 268 new shelter managers recently trained and 485 more applicants expressing interest, the ministry is increasing shelter capacity and responsiveness, but it's also asking the public to play their part, especially in avoiding risky behavior during floods. And with that, we take a break. We'll be right back.
Get the best in affordable eyewear. Frames with blue filter lenses and eye exam, $399. Single vision lenses with transitions on designer frames, $799. Progressive transitions with designer frames, $1,399. Happening only at Seaview Optical. Affordable eye care for everyone.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
Ready to turn heads and steal the spotlight? Then head to Rosari Bridal Couture, your all-in-one fashion destination for every celebration. From stunning bridal lehengas to simple everyday shawls, sparkling jewelry, affordable kids wear, stylish Muslim clothing, and even puja essentials, we've got it all under one roof. Get free footwear with any bridal outfit and get free matching bangles with kids wear. Need the perfect fit? Our in-house tailor is here for you. We're open 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Just take the Southern Highway to Brentwood, Chaguanas and call 723-9099 for more info. Rosari Bridal Couture, where fashion meets celebration, all inclusive.
President of the Secondary Schools Track and Field Association, Joseph Brewster, believes we need athletes to trust our local system if we are to develop local talent. Brewster was a guest on The Morning Shot, speaking ahead of next Thursday's secondary school relays.
Right, so we have to develop that system that the athletes could trust in. You're staying home to train, you must be able to trust your coach, you must be able to trust the facility, you must be able to trust your management, you must be able to trust your whole circle of care. You must have trust in that.
Brewster added, for the sport to grow locally, we need to change our mindset and look at sport differently.
For example, you have people still thinking that sports is leisure. Sports isn't leisure. Sports is big business everywhere in the world but here. We have big businesses, corporate Trinidad and Tobago, thinking that sports is leisure. So when you go to some corporate bodies and you say to them, listen, I want your sponsor, so and so, you have to go through real hoops and then get nothing.
Meanwhile, the West Indies are progressing well in the first test against Australia at Kensington Oval. Barbados resuming this morning on 57 for 4 in response to Australia's 180. They lost Brandon King for 26. White ball captain Shea Hope joined skipper Roston Chase, and together both captains saw West Indies to lunch at 135 for 5. And speaking after the close of play yesterday, fast bowler Jaden Seals, who led the attack with 5 for 60 to record his third 5-wicket haul in tests, explains why yesterday's effort is his best.
I said today I think this probably is my best 5-wicket haul, albeit because it wasn't my best day. I didn't feel at my best at any time throughout the day. There were times that I felt good, but throughout spells I didn't feel like I was in full control of what I wanted to do or was executing or nailing my lengths and lines as consistent as I wanted. So this one is probably my most special one.
More news after this. Stay with us.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800 TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800 TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for less.
My parents' generation grew up with Royal Castle. From the first restaurant in 1968, when that distinctive, tempting aroma hit the air. Like never before, fried chicken with a special blend of local seasonings and a one-of-a-kind flavor down to the bone. Today, Royal Castle still have that same delicious taste, and I love it too. And the kids, they have more to enjoy. For me, the castle is more than just nice food. It's we own, part of me and you, and is the real flavor of TNT.
Scheduled direct flights between Africa and the Caribbean may soon become a reality. That's according to the acting head of the Afro-Exim Bank in the Caribbean, Oke Ihijirika, who says talks with airlines are gaining momentum, a major shift from just 5 years ago. Afro-Exim Bank is also pushing for stronger trade ties, encouraging Caribbean businesses to showcase their goods at the 4th Inter-African Trade Fair in Algiers this summer. The bank is exploring a direct flight from the Caribbean to Algiers to ease travel. Ihijirika highlighted the success of a recent Air Peace charter flight from Nigeria to St. Kitts and Nevis, calling it a proof of concept that trade travel across the Atlantic can work. And the Afro-Exim Bank will also host the 4th African-Caribbean Trade and Investment Forum in Grenada in July as efforts grow to build a unified Afro-Caribbean market. Previous forums have already led to over $200 billion in signed deals. On Wednesday, U.S. federal workers and union members rallied against Immigration and Customs Enforcement and its activities in places such as Chicago, New York, and Pasadena. The rallies were sparked by recent ICE raids targeting undocumented migrants. Here's the latest from CNN.
Federal workers and labor union members joined immigrant justice advocates for picketing in Chicago Wednesday, demanding an end to immigration and customs enforcement raids and detainments inside public buildings.
They are afraid to show up to federal workplaces for fear of being arrested or disappeared in an ICE operation.
Union President Colin Smalley says their mission is being compromised.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office.
They took time out of the rally to take their oaths again publicly. In Pasadena, California, protesters waved signs that said, quote, "ICE out of Home Depot," and "protect our communities." One man likening the current ICE raids to the actions of Nazi Germany.
Look at the day's developments so far. We'll have these stories and so much more in our major newscast at 7 p.m. Have a great day.
You're watching CNC3.
क्या होती उतरन